Let's go for it. Yeah. So, hey, Tom, you just closed your second.
Yep.
What just happened?
Yeah, exactly. Just closed my second coaching client for this week. Uh, that's a grand total of 40 grand in total billings. Uh, this one was a nice surprise because I didn't actually, when I look back on my notes to see where I, kind of what I scaled people on in terms of probability. I
Mhm.
had this one at a little lower probability, but it came through, and we did the call session that you and I designed. We did that a week ago, and then he asked
Mhm.
for like a week to think about it and then do a callback. So that was scheduled for today, and he kind of surprised me happily.
You were looking for more of a consistent process. Why don't you say something about what you're looking for?
Yeah, a consistent process, or one could even just say a process.
Okay.
My process was wildly inconsistent, undefined, and to the
Well,
point where I had a hard time even describing it to you.
you help. Okay, you help. We should start from the very beginning. You help people become real estate investors, make money as real estate investors, right? You've had a coaching program which you started off at some point at $5,000, and you kept raising it, and you would get clients here and there, but you were frustrated, right?
Correct. I know how to do real estate investing. I know how to coach people to do real estate investing. In terms of convincing them to come into the program, that was a weak point. And so what we built together, Dove, was a system that I identifies who out there is interested,
Mm-hmm.
uh, get them to self-select for who's interested in working with me, get them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested, and then give them a big gift, give them something of serious value. That also gives me a chance to see if I would like to work with them, and at the same time, they then know if they want to work with me, and then close the deal.
Just say what you sent me in an email, just because I want to
Sure,
get this.
sure. It's I feel like you've fixed a major problem in me, and that was uh, a problem of sales process, a problem of sales personality, and basically a mismatch. I don't know, like maybe like being in a rotten relationship where it's just fire and oil and water constantly and nothing matches. That's usually the way I've approached my sales process is well, this seems to work for other people and let me do it. And then it doesn't work for me and then I assume I'm a crappy salesman.
Hmm.
Uh, but what we've built up over the last couple months is a process. I mean, you've taken me through a structured process and say, well, why don't we get people to when we first identify who they are, we get them to raise their hand for an enticing free offer, which is a sales consultation, or it's not sales, it's a consultation about them. So we keep it focused on them.
Simple strategy process.
Yeah, a strategy session process. That's been when I offer that to people, I get a good response rate. Then I schedule. It seems like I schedule about a third of them. Some people strangely drag their feet, and now I've been closing about 20% of the strategy sessions that I actually do with people. And it's a sales process. Tying back into what I started with, it's a sales process that fits me, my personality, and my sales style better than anything else ever has. And that's can be the only reason why I'm finally getting consistent results. I mean, this is two solid sales in a couple of days here after just a few just a few days doing the calls. That hasn't happened before with that level of consistency. And I know there's more on the table because there's some people that said, I want to do it, just give me a couple of months because they're finishing out other programs or other sessions and whatnot. So it's a timing issue. So I think there's a lot of good results and a lot of good sales and a lot of good money coming out of this, which is basically only our first round too. I mean, I've only yet begun the fight.
You've talked to 9 people.
Correct. Only 9 people, uh, two sales equating to $40,000 worth of profits.
Which is it's more than 20%. I don't know exactly what that comes to, but it's something
I
more than
can't
20%.
exactly.
All right. But you know what? Okay, that's good. Very good. Excellent. I think we've reached a really important milestone because when you started, what you said is you want, if I remember your words correctly, you want an evergreen process. You want something that you can repeat, you can pull it out, you can do it every week, every month, whatever it is
Right.
that makes sense. And we started from the ground up basically. Obviously, you did a lot before I ever met you, and I mean, you've got a great product. You're really good at what you do. But there are a lot of people who have good products, really good at what they do, and they just can't get the sales, we can't get consistent sales. So what we did was, right, we built that evergreen process. We're not finished yet either, right? I mean, we still have a lot to do.
That's the best part.
But this definitely is a good, we've reached an important milestone. So, what was I getting at? Yeah, so we also, we identified all the stages in the sales process, and then we looked at to see, okay, what do you have, and now let's fix that up. So not only did we redesign this free offer for you, but we also then redesigned your whole coaching program, right?
Correct.
What was before, what's now?
We made sure I took kind of disparate elements that were all over the place, and we regrouped them into logical packages for people. So we grouped things that made the most sense for the client, at the same time made the most sense to have a logical progression between the programs that we thought would sell at a given price point and was enough value in there to make it appetizing for the client. And so that was something, again, I always come at it from one way of thinking, and that's usually my way of thinking, not the way that the people I'm trying to sell to. And that's so all the branding work and all the sales work and building this funnel, yeah, definitely a reusable evergreen funnel, has been, you've helped me to get it focused on what do they want? What is it? It's got to start with them, otherwise it's not going to sell. And gosh, that might be one of the big problems in the past, was it wasn't properly focused on them. So yes, I got the random hit every now and then for someone who saw eye to eye with me, but now we've rebuilt everything together, Dov, from their perspective, because you've interviewed my clients, you've spoken to them, past and previous, and some that applied and didn't go for it, and to get an idea of what are people after, and you constantly reframe what I think of as the how do they want it, and I think that's what's going to be that's the key to this, is that it's approaching it from the right side of the sales table. It's approaching it from their side because it's all about them. It's not about me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and one other thing I just want to pick up on, because I'm really proud of the progress that you made, I have to say, is that when we started, you thought that the whole idea of having this kind of sales conversation, level 3 conversation, sales conversation, strategy session, whatever we call it, was didn't work because that had been your experience.
Yes,
and now,
now I'm a true believer.
You're a true believer because you realize this is a process that anybody can learn, and I've listened in on some conversations just to kind of coach you along, and you've really improved.
Thank you. I have, certainly, because let me talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily believe in the process, and I moaned at first because, well, I've tried that before, except I tried it before, but with no real understanding of the process or the purpose. It was just, oh, well, someone's interested in working with me, I should give them a call and talk them through the process. And it never wound up happening that way. And one of the first diagnostic things that you did was I recorded a call I did on my own, sent it to you, you listened to it and said, well, gosh, no wonder. you were very nice and polite about it, but it was basically, no wonder this didn't work because of, A, B, C, D, all the way through Z. And so we took that and then we realized we needed to step back and work on another part of me. And that was, let's build a kind of a script for me to follow, a process to follow. You identified where all the problems were and why I failed at that on my own, fixed it, and now I can knock these calls out a lot easier following a structured process that you've designed for me, that it makes sense to me and it fits me and it's working. And so that was where I went wrong before. And so it was kind of odd to revisit an idea that had been presented to me in the past but didn't make any sense because I was never doing it right. Because I never had anyone to kind of almost jump in and say, no, wait a minute, that didn't, do you hear what you did on this recording? And then the same thing after I did the first few calls, I've sent you recordings of the successful calls, and then you've continued to refine the coaching on that. So then you send me back comments and saying, A, B, C, and I'm able to work that into my existing script. I'm able to work that into the way I do a close. And so this is now a process of constant improvement, but we're already 80% of the way there. So where before I was just, withering on the vine and flapping in the wind. Now I'm close enough that we can really get down to some of the real nice refinements that'll really boost response rate up.
All right, great. So thank you for sharing all this. We're going from here, as you know, and the next step for us is increasing the lead flow into your funnel in a systematic way, and that way you have more people reaching out to you, and you can fill your coaching program. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
Anytime. I appreciate it too.